Imagine walking into your kitchen on a lazy Sunday morning. The coffee is brewing, pancakes are stacked on the counter, and you reach for that familiar jar of Nutella. With just one swipe of the spoon, that smooth, chocolate hazelnut spread transforms breakfast into something magical. For millions of Americans and hundreds of millions more around the world, Nutella isn't just a topping, it's a ritual. It's the secret ingredient in school lunches, the comfort food after a long day, and the spoonful of sweetness you sneak straight from the jar when nobody's watching. But have you ever stopped to wonder how something so creamy, so rich, and so consistent makes its way to your table in every corner of the country? Behind that one jar lies one of the most fascinating global food stories ever told, a story of farmers, factories, technology, and tradition working together to create a spread that sells a jar every 2.5 seconds. The story begins in Italy, just after World War II, when cocoa was rare and expensive. A baker named Pietro Ferrero had an idea. If he blended roasted hazelnuts with just a little cocoa, the chocolate would stretch further and still taste incredible. What started as a humble spread called Joe eventually evolved into Nutella. And today, Ferrero produces over 400 million kilograms of it every year. That's more than 1 million jars a day, shipped across more than 160 countries. The scale is staggering, but what makes Nutella so beloved is how little it has changed. The recipe has remained almost the same for decades, giving people around the world that familiar, dependable taste with every spoonful at its heart. Nutella is made with just 6 ingredients: hazelnuts, cocoa, sugar, palm oil, milk, powder, and a touch of vanilla. Simple, right? But don't let that simplicity fool you. Each ingredient travels a long journey before it ever reaches the mixing tanks of a Ferrero factory. Hazelnuts, which make up around 13% of Nutella, mostly come from Turkey, a country that produces more than 2/3 of the world's supply. Ferrero alone buys nearly 25% of the global crop. Every year, from late August through September, farmers use specialized nets and machines to shake the hazelnuts from trees. Timing is everything. If the nuts sit too long on the ground, moisture can lead to mold. To reduce risks and keep quality high, Ferrero also runs its own farms in Chile, Australia, and even parts of the US, ensuring a steady, traceable supply of nuts that meets strict standards. Then comes cocoa, the soul of Nutella's chocolatey flavor. Most of it comes from West Africa, especially Ivory Coast and Ghana, where cocoa pods are harvested by hand. Inside each pod are slimy, sweet cocoa beans, which are fermented under banana leaves before being sun-dried. Once dried, they're packed into burlap sacks and shipped overseas to Ferrero facilities. But cocoa is never one size fits all. Beans from different regions taste different, some more fruity, some more earthy. Ferrero carefully blends them to achieve a perfectly balanced chocolate flavor that remains consistent in every jar, no matter where you buy it. Alongside this, the company invests heavily in farming programs that aim to support growers, improve yields, and fight child labor, creating a more sustainable supply chain. The other ingredients are just as carefully sourced. Sugar comes from 2 main sources: sugar beets in Europe and sugarcane in tropical countries like Brazil and India. Palm oil, which gives Nutella its silky texture and long shelf life, mostly comes from Malaysia and Indonesia. But Ferrero commits to using only oil certified by the Round Table on Sustainable Palm Oil (RSPO). Milk arrives in powdered form, produced by drying fresh milk to extend its shelf life without losing nutrients. And while real vanilla is rare and volatile in supply, Ferrero uses high-quality vanillin, a synthetic but consistent alternative that ensures flavor stability without putting pressure on natural vanilla crops. But sourcing is just the beginning. Before any of these ingredients ever touch a mixing tank, they undergo thousands of quality checks. Every Nutella factory is filled with labs, sensors, and automated monitoring systems that run day and night. Hazelnuts are inspected for size, oil content, and even invisible toxins that can form if they aren't stored properly. Cocoa is tested for acidity and flavor strength. Milk powder is examined for bacteria, color, and fat content. Even palm oil is refined to remove impurities and ensure it stays neutral in taste. Nothing is left to chance on the ingredients that meet. Ferrero's exacting standards move forward. When it's time to actually make Nutella, the real magic begins. The process starts with roasting the hazelnuts. They tumble inside giant, rotating ovens while hot air circulates around them, drawing out their natural sweetness. The timing has to be perfect, too short, and the flavor doesn't develop. Too long, and they taste bitter. Once cooled, the roasted hazelnuts are ground into a paste so smooth it almost melts on the tongue. At the same time, cocoa beans are roasted, cracked, and milled into cocoa liquor, which is then combined with sugar and milk powder. Next comes the blending. Huge mixers combine the hazelnut paste, cocoa, milk powder, sugar, and palm oil, stirring at carefully controlled speeds and temperatures. The order matters: dry ingredients first to dissolve and release their flavors. Then the hazelnut paste and milk, and finally the palm oil, warmed just enough to blend smoothly. The mixture is vacuum treated to remove air bubbles, ensuring the final spread has no graininess. After mixing, it goes through homogenizers that use intense pressure to break down any last clumps. The result? A velvety, glossy chocolate hazelnut cream that spreads like silk. Now comes one of the most mesmerizing parts of the process: filling the jars. The warm Nutella flows through stainless steel pipes to automated filling lines. Hundreds of jars roll down conveyor belts, each one pre-cleaned and sanitized. High-precision nozzles pump in exact amounts, whether 200 grams or the family-sized 750-gram jar, with sensors instantly flagging any underfilled or overfilled containers. Seals are applied, caps screwed on tight, and labels printed with batch codes and expiration dates. Workers monitor everything from control rooms lined with screens, watching for the slightest hiccup in the flow by the time the jars are boxed. Stacked on pallets and shrink-wrapped, Ferrero factories can churn out more than 1 million jars a day. Distribution is a carefully choreographed dance. Trucks, ships, and trains carry pallets to retailers across North America and beyond. Because Nutella doesn't need refrigeration and has a shelf life of about a year, it can move quickly without spoiling. From factory to store shelf, the journey usually takes just a couple of weeks. That's why when you grab a jar at your local grocery store, it tastes as fresh as if it came straight off the line. Nutella's global network of farms, factories, and logistics centers is nothing short of a marvel. But its success isn't just about efficiency, it's about consistency. For decades, Ferrero has kept the same flavor profile so that every bite is a reminder of childhood breakfasts, college dorm snacks, or family pancake sundaes. It's more than food, it's nostalgia in a jar. And Nutella isn't alone in this world of iconic, mass-produced treats. Take Arizona iced tea, for example, another product that has built a passionate following in the U.S. for over 3 decades. Picture a tall 23-ounce can with bold, colorful graphics and that famous 99-cent price tag. Since its launch in 1992, Arizona has sold more than 1 billion cans every year, proving that affordability and flavor can go hand in hand. The process starts the same way you'd make tea at home, just on an enormous scale. Arizona sources black and green tea leaves from farms in China, India, Sri Lanka, and Kenya. Black tea offers a bold, malty flavor, while green tea is lighter and more delicate. And Arizona's blends are carefully chosen to deliver the perfect balance. Unlike many mass-market competitors, Arizona uses cold brewing, a slower process where tea leaves steep in cool water for hours. This preserves antioxidants and avoids the bitterness that comes from hot brewing, resulting in that famously smooth taste. Once the tea base is ready, it's filtered and blended with natural sweeteners like cane sugar, honey, or agave syrup, depending on the recipe. Citrus flavors sourced from California groves add brightness and temps, making each sip crisp and refreshing. Large bottling plants across the U.S. then handle the high-speed filling process. Machines can fill thousands of cans per minute, sealing, labeling, and packing them before sending them off to stores nationwide. What makes Arizona remarkable isn't just its production process, but its unwavering brand identity. For over 30 years, the company has resisted inflation pressures, keeping that big can at 99 cents a promise that resonates with consumers, who feel like they're getting both value and tradition in every purchase. Like Nutella, Arizona iced tea has managed to become more than a product. It's a cultural icon. Whether it's Nutella spreading joy on breakfast tables or Arizona iced tea quenching thirst on hot afternoons, these brands share one thing in common: a commitment to delivering consistent, high-quality products at a massive scale. Behind every jar and every can is a global chain of farms, factories, workers, and technologies working seamlessly together to make sure you can count on the taste you love, and that's what makes them timeless. Imagine walking into a convenience store on a hot summer afternoon. The air conditioning greets you with a cool rush, but your eyes are immediately drawn to the beverage aisle. Rows upon rows of brightly colored cans and bottles stand ready. But only one label seems to pop right out at you. It's tall, it's colorful, it's bold, it's Arizona iced tea. That iconic can, with its oversized design and 99-cent stamp that feels frozen in time, has become more than just a drink. It's a cultural staple in America. Whether you first discovered it at a gas station during a road trip or grabbed one from a fridge on campus between classes, Arizona has built a reputation as the go-to iced tea brand that somehow balances affordability, flavor, and style. But what exactly goes into creating that perfect sip of refreshing sweetness? And how has a brand so deeply tied to American pop culture managed to stay consistent for decades? Let's take a journey behind the scenes and find out how Arizona Ice teamed later. Another nostalgic classic. Nesquik, crafted inside the factory before ending up in your hands. Once the tea leaves are carefully brewed and filtered, the golden brown liquid moves to the mixing stage, which is where the magic truly begins. This is the moment when Arizona transforms simple tea into the bold and refreshing flavors that fans across the country have come to love. Think about it: peach tea on a hot afternoon, lemon iced tea with just the right amount of tartness, raspberry for something fruity and sweet, or the legendary Arnold Palmer half tea, half lemonade mix that has practically become its own category of refreshment. During mixing, experts combine brewed tea with natural sweeteners, real fruit juices, herbs, and other flavorings, making sure that every single batch tastes consistent with the brand's famously high standards. Okay. This isn't just random blending, it's precise science paired with an artful touch. Sweeteners play a huge role in this stage. Arizona knows that sweetness can make or break the flavor of a tea, and they carefully balance it to avoid crossing the line into too sugary. Cane sugar is used in most of the classic iced teas, giving them that familiar, satisfying sweetness, while honey or agave syrup is added to certain natural or health-focused drinks, offering a smoother, more natural taste. By controlling sweetness carefully, Arizona makes sure each sip feels refreshing rather than heavy. The ingredients themselves are tapped here, whether it's real lemon juice, pure fruit concentrates, or herbs. Everything is hand-picked to meet strict quality standards. This precision guarantees that no matter where you are, whether you grab a can in California or a bottle in New York, the tea inside tastes exactly the same. Once the flavors are blended to perfection, the tea isn't ready to hit shelves just yet. To keep it fresh, safe, and consistent, the tea goes through pasteurization, which is essentially a gentle heating process designed to kill harmful bacteria without ruining the delicate flavors of the drink. Arizona takes pride in using a softer, less aggressive pasteurization method than many other beverage companies, and that decision makes a big difference. By carefully controlling the temperature and time, they ensure that the tea keeps its crisp taste and natural aroma while staying perfectly safe to drink. After heating, the tea is quickly cooled to lock in the flavor, almost like sealing in freshness. This process not only extends the shelf life of the tea without using artificial preservatives, but also keeps the drink tasting as close to freshly brewed as possible. From there, it's time for bottling and canning. This is where technology meets speed. High-speed filling machines pump thousands of bottles and cans full of tea every hour with incredible precision. Sensors monitor every step, ensuring that each container has the exact right amount of tea, no more, no less. Once filled, the bottles and cans are immediately sealed to protect them from air, light, and moisture, all of which could damage the flavor. Arizona uses durable aluminum cans and PET plastic bottles, both designed to keep the tea safe during transport and storage. Labeling comes next, and this is where the iconic look of Arizona takes shape. Each can or bottle gets stamped with all the essentials ingredients, nutrition facts, expiration dates, but most importantly, it's wrapped in the bold, eye-catching designs that have become legendary before the tea can leave the factory. Though it goes through a series of rigorous quality checks, flavor experts taste test samples from each batch to ensure they have the perfect balance of sweetness, tea notes, and fruitiness. Lab technicians check for safety, ensuring there are no unwanted bacteria or impurities. Packaging is double-checked to confirm there are no dents, cracks, or defects that might compromise the product. Even metal detectors are used to make sure nothing foreign ever makes it into a can or bottle. Only once the tea passes these tests does it move forward to final packaging. Arizona offers different packaging formats depending on where it's being sold. Multi-packs of cans are perfect for families stocking up, while single cans are the impulse buys you see stacked high at convenience stores. Larger bottles are often used for grocery stores, giving people the chance to keep Arizona stocked in their fridge. To keep the tea extra fresh, sometimes nitrogen is even added to replace oxygen inside the packaging, a trick that helps prevent oxidation and keeps the flavors sharp. Everything is then loaded into boxes and trays, stacked neatly on pallets, wrapped for protection, and prepared for transport. Whether it's headed to a small-town corner store or a massive national retailer, each shipment is handled with care, so the cans arrive in perfect condition, ready to be cracked open by a thirsty customer. And just like that, the Arizona you love is born, consistent, refreshing, and stylish. But Arizona isn't the only nostalgic beverage that has captured American hearts. Think back to your childhood mornings. Maybe you were sitting at the breakfast table with a bowl of cereal, and next to it was a tall glass of milk that turned into a creamy, chocolatey treat with just a spoonful of powder. That's right, we're talking about Nesquik. Nesquik first appeared in 1948, originally called Nesquik, and it instantly changed the way people thought about milk. Suddenly, plain milk wasn't boring anymore. With just a spoonful of powder, it became a sweet, chocolatey drink that made mornings exciting. Parents loved it because it encouraged kids to drink more milk, while kids loved it because, well, it tasted like dessert in a glass. Over the years, Nesquik expanded to include strawberry, vanilla, and ready-to-drink bottles. But the heart of the brand has always remained the same simple, fun, chocolatey goodness. Inside the factory, Nesquik is created with the same level of precision and care as Arizona, though the process looks quite different. It all starts with 3 key ingredients: cocoa powder, sugar, and milk solids. The cocoa beans come from tropical regions like West Africa and South America, areas known for their rich and flavorful beans. After being harvested, the beans are fermented and sun-dried to develop their deep chocolate flavor. Sugar, which balances the cocoa's natural bitterness, is sourced from either sugar cane or sugar beets, ensuring just the right sweetness. Milk solids, often in powdered form, give Nesquik that creamy texture that makes it dissolve so perfectly into milk. In giant mixing machines, these ingredients are blended together with exact measurements. Too much cocoa would make the drink bitter, too much sugar would make it cloying, and too little milk would make it flat. Finding that perfect balance is key, and Nestle's factories have spent decades fine-tuning it. Once mixed, the blend is refined even further. Cocoa particles are ground into a fine powder so they dissolve easily into milk without leaving a gritty texture. Any rough particles are sifted out, leaving only the smoothest blend behind. The mixture is then carefully dried to remove any excess moisture, ensuring that the powder stays light, fluffy, and easy to scoop. Quality control plays a major role here as well. Every batch is tested for consistency in flavor, texture, and aroma. If anything feels off even slightly, it gets sent back for adjustments. Only once it passes all checks is it packaged into the iconic yellow containers that practically shout from the grocery shelf. The labels, featuring the lovable Nesquik bunny, are designed not just for branding, but also to convey trust and nostalgia. For kids, the bunny is fun and exciting. For adults, it's a comforting reminder of childhood mornings. From there, the packaged Nesquik is shipped out to stores across America and beyond, ready to be stirred into milk for breakfast, a snack, or even a midnight treat. The simplicity of the product has kept it relevant for more than 70 years, even as new flavors and formats are introduced. The core experience remains the same: a scoop of powder, a swirl of the spoon, and a glass of creamy chocolate milk that never fails to make you smile. Both Arizona iced tea and Nesquik have something in common: they're more than just drinks. They've become part of American culture. Arizona represents summer road trips, gas station stops, and that iconic big can energy that feels both retro and modern at the same time. Nesquik represents childhood, family breakfasts, and the joy of turning something ordinary into something extraordinary with a single scoop. What makes them truly special is their consistency. Generation after generation, sip after sip, they taste exactly the way you remember. That's not an accident. It's the result of carefully crafted processes, top-quality ingredients, and brands that understand the emotional connection people form with their favorite drinks. So, the next time you crack open a tall Arizona can, or stir a spoonful of Nesquik into your milk, take a second to appreciate the journey behind that sip. From farms where cocoa beans and tea leaves are harvested, to the high-tech machines blending, pasteurizing, and packaging, to the quality control experts ensuring perfection, every single step is designed to give you a taste that feels timeless. It's not just a drink, it's a story, a memory, and a tradition poured into every glass and can.